to our July meeting. Let's go into the public session. Angela, would you like to speak to us first, please?
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm Angie Hicks and I live in Greenwood, which is the first house in Ham Road on the Barrow Road. So really following on from Gina's, what she was saying last month at the meeting, we have expressing our concern regarding the distance between the Welcome to Brent Knoll sign in respect to the 30-mile-an-hour sign. So we would really like to propose that the 30-mile-an-hour sign be brought right back to the Brent Knoll sign, like it is when we come off of the A38, just to give cars a chance to slow down before they get to the residential area. There's no footpath along this stretch, and there's cyclists and walkers that use this road that is very dangerous. So this afternoon I was outside and I've just put a few facts in that. I've done a bit of measuring. So the first fact is that from the Welcome to Brent Knoll sign to another sign which says reduced speed narrowing is 224 feet. And then from this sign to the start of our property is 55 feet. And then from the start of our property going to the 30-mile-an-hour sign is 502 feet, which is really such a long, long stretch. And they still go so fast. And there is a corner, Owen, you know that very well, don't you? That corner. So this, another fact I did was between the hours of 4 and 4:30 today, I counted how many cars went through, and there was 104 cars that went through that area. But that's not really taking into consideration the changeover day because we get a lot of caravans and things on Saturday. So really, I'm really hoping that we can push this forward and get your help in and to contact the highways. I presume that is what happens next. I don't really know, but really we're asking for your help to try and see if we can get this sign moved.
Yeah, you want the 30-mile-an-hour sign repositioned really to the welcome to Brent Knoll.
That's right, yes. Yeah, because it is 781 feet from that sign to the 30-mile-an-hour sign, which
it's sort of between 200 and 300 metres, isn't it? Which is far too much.
Yeah, it is.
No, I understand. No.
It's just that it's getting so busy now. There's lots of cars on the road and tractors and caravans and things, and it's really dangerous.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can get something done.
Yeah. Well, it's on the agenda tonight, Angela. We'll be discussing it later.
Thank you very much.
Must be quite hazardous measuring, actually.
Will that be put in the minutes as well? So
we don't actually put public sessions within the minutes, but we do make a note of obviously what you...
So you're discussing that later today anyway. Lovely. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, we can go now.
Feel free to stay or whichever you would
We'll
prefer.
stay if you don't mind.
Okay. Second one, George.
Good evening. The last meeting I asked the council to finish with the project I had for the chest tomb in the churchyard. In fact, a note was put in the Brent Knoll News along the lines. Since then, a person who had promised some money in the original round has come back to say that he would be willing to put forward more money, being as we lost the grant. And he was very keen that in fact the project went ahead. So all I'm asking is that the council, they had £500 from the Nuttall Trust, that that money is still earmarked for the possibility of the chest tomb. Hopefully by the time you have your next meeting in September I shall have more information, but what I am doing is getting a specification drawn up by the conservator at Sedgemoor, who is the man who says what has to be done, and he's also given me the name of another firm who he thinks would be cheaper than Wells Cathedral stonemasons. So I would like to keep it ongoing for the time being. Thank you.
The only thing I would ask, George, who is going to give the permission to actually carry out the work, because that can't be...
It's a two-pronged attack, I've been told. The main one is the conservator, because it's not grade 1 or grade 2 staff. English Heritage aren't interested. It is the Sedgemoor conservator who will say what he wants done. But together with that, we do have the problem that, yes, you need the faculty from the church authorities. You need permission from the church authorities. And at present, that is taking longer than...
And my last question, really, because I've been working with you on this, but what is the total number of funds now that you think you have at your disposal, given this new offer?
Well, what I've got, it doesn't include his latest offer sort of thing. So he's more or less saying to me that he would bridge the gap. But I had £2,400 down from different areas. 2,400. The problem now, talking to the conservator, he wants all the work done, whereas I had earmarked points that were marked in the report as urgent. He is well aware, I think, that if it isn't done now, it will never be done. So he is going along. So all I'm hoping, he will put the price up, but by going to a different firm, we will get the price back down again.
Do you know, or do you recall what the price was that Wells Cathedral Stonemasons?
Yeah, theirs was £2,860 plus that.
So you're not far away from it?
Well, the problem is, as I say, it's up to the conservator to say what he wants done, and I think he will say, because with my idea, I replaced the plaques,
Yeah.
but now people are saying, well, should they be replaced or should they be refurbished sort of captured? So we've got several problems going on.
David, just a point of interest here, and for Warwick. George approached the parish council for their support in terms of applying for grants, which we helped to do, and getting a bit of financing. And we supported the project insofar that the parish council funded the conservators' report. So that's the end of the parish council's obligation, if you like, because we can't, it's not our concern.
Yeah.
But what we are prepared to do is to, when George has got his funding in place, then we will place an order and make it more easy for George to carry out, because we can obviously save certain things, i.e. VAT. So that's what the plan is. Okay. So we have no further financial obligation, and I've made that clear to George. We've carried out our financial obligation, and that's the end of it. It's up to George now to get his funding together. Is that okay,
Yes,
George?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you. Any other... Jed, do you want to say?
Well, the only comment that I will make at this stage is that permission has not been sought at this stage from the Diocesan Advisory Committee, because we don't know what it is that is going to be done, and one has to clarify precisely what it is that is intended before diocesan approval can be sought. We thought that the panels were going to be replaced, and that is really rather a different approach from what the Conservators' report that George got was saying. So diocesan approval has not yet been sought.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for that. Any other matters? Okay, thank you very much. I'll now open our formal meeting. Welcome everyone to our July meeting. Sorry we're a little bit, too bad. Item 1, to receive apologies.
Apologies from Nigel Summers, who is working, and David Nutt, who is also working.
Okay. Is it your wish that you accept those apologies? And just show that you are prepared to accept them? Thank you. Thanks very much. Declarations of pecuniary interests or personal prejudicial interests. What?
My normal personal interest and relationship to Sedgwick County, if any matters come up, and I also need to give a prejudicial interest on any discussions that come up about the village shop.
Okay, thank you. Confirmation of minutes from the last meeting, 5th of June. They've all been circulated and agreed. Are you happy that they're a true record and that I can sign them? Would you indicate, please? Thank you. I'll sign those later. Moving on. Mike, I'm pleased to welcome Mike Scholar, who is in charge of speed watch in our area, and I think it's very apt that we've had Angela to speak tonight. So, do I halt our meeting, or
No,
it's part of the meeting? Mike, the floor is yours to address us, please.
Right, thank you, Chair. Thank you for the invitation for coming tonight. It's not often I get these invitations. I've been to 1 or 2 public meetings, but I'm still not used to speaking in the public, believe it or not, so I will be referring to my notes, which I do apologise if I'm a bit slow in that respect. My name is Mike Scholar, as you already said. I currently live in Burnham-on-Sea, but I lived in Mark for about 19 years. During which time I had at least 12 years in the parish council, and during that time I set up a community speedwatch team in Mark towards the end of 2009, and I also became the coordinator for the speedwatch team there in Mark, and have been ever since. And then more recently, the last couple of years, I've taken on the role of lead volunteer coordinator for the Somerset West Police Division, which covers more or less from Lymsham down to Minehead, across to Wellington and back up to probably Axbridge and across to Lymsham again. Yeah, so that's your sort of police division. I'm aware that Brent Knoll have had a community speedwatch team running for some time, but recently gave up this year. And I think it was, I call it Isabella, but it's Isabel or Bella and Roger Ward that was running it, I believe. And they've hung their boots up, fair enough. 1 or 2 others have done the same too, having done the work for a number of years. The one comment that I did would like to make is that I was quite envious of Brent Knoll a few years ago when I was running Mark team, when I read that you very kindly purchased a radar speed gun, which was sort of the top of the range, and unfortunately from Mark Parish Council all I could get was sort of £200, which brought the hairdryer version of what you got, and but subsequently I got a copy of the similar machine that you have. Currently, this is what they now look like. This is what the police issue to all speedwatch teams. It's the size of as you can see, size of a mobile phone, and that's very effective. It covers a long range, and it's just a simple press the button on, point it at the car or vehicle, and it will come up with a speed. It's not quite precise as the sort of radar gun, which pinpoints onto a vehicle, but nevertheless it's pretty good. And as I say, it's given out now free to all the new speedwatch teams, along with other equipment such as dictaphones and tabards and so on. Because you've had a speedwatch team, I wasn't really sure where to start from, whether from the beginning, Chair, or because you would have